Today, we have an epic Kitchen Gadget Showdown. It's the Mealthy Multipot versus the Crockpot. Today's dish, beef stew. Let's get ready to rumble. Chef Barry here, coming to you live from Kitchen Stadium in the Adams household, where the Crockpot chef is starting first because it takes the Crockpot a lot longer to create his dish than it will the Mealthy Multipot. So here we are, looking at him cutting the beef because it's just a little bit too big for it to all fit into the Crockpot, or we don't want those big chunks, I guess. So he's cutting the beef into smaller pieces. Now that the beef is all cut, he's gonna pour it into the Crockpot. Looks like there's no pre-brine of the meat for this dish. Now we're adding some side ingredients that also go into the beef stew. Common ingredients in this case being the carrots, potatoes. Yes, chop up all those potatoes and let's put in some potatoes. And the finishing touches now on the celery to put into the Crockpot as well. It looks like all the main ingredients. Oh, the tomatoes are going in as well. A can of tomatoes. I guess it gives it a nice little tomato flavor for a stew as opposed to a soup. Oh, what's this? Looks like about a cup of wine. Red wine going in. Dark red wine. Let's see. And also we have 4 cups of water. Gives it a lot of broth for this beef stew. I hope these taste testers like beef broth. And with an epic food hack, he's adding the beef bouillon right into the dish itself. Doesn't make the broth first, but just adds in a tablespoon of beef bouillon to go with those 4 cups of water. In goes the garlic. And now we're adding, looks like a teaspoon or so of pepper. Looks like a teaspoon or so or salt going into this dish. See anything else? Oh, that looks like that might be it. He's gonna stir the dish up. Commonly, I often see people put a bay leaf in this dish, but it looks like no bay leaves today for this Crockpot chili. Now that all the ingredients are in, it looks like the chef's gonna have the Crockpot go for 7 hours before it is done. Alright, so after about 5 hours later, time for the Mealthy to start its dish. Yes, the Mealthy doesn't take as long, and it's going to use pressure to make that beef nice and tender. So again, our chef for the Mealthy is now cutting up the beef to make it smaller to put into the Mealthy Multipot. So looks like it's a similar method he's using for this dish as your Crockpot chef is doing. The Mealthy chef is now finishing up the beef for the Mealthy Multipot. Let's see if he's gonna fry it. No, he's just gonna go straight to adding some wine. What else goes into this dish? Adds in the water. Again, the water is used for the epic food hack, as now he's adding in about a tablespoon of beef bouillon to help with the flavoring of the water to make it into a stew stock. Now we got about a half a tablespoon of pepper there as well. And looks like close to half a tablespoon of salt going into the Mealthy. Stirring it up. Wait, there's no vegetables in the Mealthy? That is interesting. I guess the vegetables get put in later? I don't know. We'll see what the chef does. Look, here we go to the pressure setting. Let's see how long he's going to pressurize that beef for. 30 minutes. It's only going to take the beef about 30 minutes to fully cook to a nice tender level. As the pressure builds, you can see the red button is getting ready to pop. That's what's going to start the pressure cooking and cooking in a pressure mode. There, the button has fully popped up, and now the pressure cooker is ready to apply extreme pressure to the beef, making it extra tender. And while that 30-minute set is going, the chef for the Mealthy Multipot is now preparing all his vegetables. See the same vegetables there. Potatoes, carrots, and celery are all fresh vegetables for this dish. Let's see, after the Mealthy has finished cooking the beef, ooh, look at that nice and hot beef. Looks like there was garlic in there as well. Somehow garlic got into the mixture. I don't know how. Well, he is going to add in all of the fresh vegetables, and there they go. Fresh vegetables going in. Let's see if he's going to add some more spices as well to this beef stew. Okay, so we still have the canned tomatoes, just like the crockpot version, for that nice tomatoey taste in a stew. And he's gonna stir it up. Oh, I guess all the spices from before were in, so now we just gotta stir it up a little. And then what's he gonna do next? Oh, I can see some of the oil from the cooked beef layering on top of our beef stew here. He has stirred it up. And now he's going to seal it again with the lid. Place the lid back on top. I guess we gotta cook those vegetables pressurized as well. Let's see how long it takes to cook the vegetables. Oh, it is a 4-minute set. So after 30 minutes, you add another 4 minutes for vegetables to cook. And that's gonna hopefully do it for the Mealthy. I don't know, we shall see what comes next. So after another 4 minutes, looks like the beef stew for the Mealthy is ready. And now it's just time for the chef to dish it out into these special bowls that we're going to use for our tasters. Now the tasters do not know which stew is going to be which. They do not know which bowl contains which stew, but you know that the Mealthy stew is placed in these bowls with the red design on the outside. And they are going to taste it blindly and then give us their opinions as to which dish is the one that they prefer. See, we got 3 bowls ready from the Mealthy, and let's see how the chef over at the Crockpot is doing. Oh, there he has his Crockpot dish nice and ready, nice and slowly cooked. Hopefully it's nice and tender, because that's one way to make beef stew really tender. Here we have 3 plain white bowls, a little different shape for our testers. So again, they are not going to be able to know which Mealthy dish, which beef stew dish is which. They're just gonna taste them blindly and let us know what they think. So let's get to the tasters. And here are the tasters. Looks like they are looking at bowl A first, which we recognize as the stew from the Mealthy. They are all taken in, and let's see. I wonder what they think of this dish. Let's listen to their comments. The beef is very tender, and so are the potatoes. Carrots are a little bit stiff and hard though. And the celery is not stiff, which is kind of the opposite of what I would want.
I really like this one for some reason. I don't know. But when I eat it, I have to eat each separate thing. The flavors don't really blend together. Like, you don't taste the tomato much when you eat anything else, but when you eat the tomato, you really taste the tomato. So they're not blended very well.
I agree with my dad on the part that the carrots are too hard and stiff, while the celery is too soft. But I found the meat very untender, unlike my dad, and I feel like there's too much flavor for some reason.
And now they are switching their dishes, so they just finished the Mealthy one. Now they're both tasting into the Crockpot version. Oh, look at them take those bites. That looks very tasty from my angle, but let's see what they think.
Well, I like the beef one better flavor-wise, because the flavor's not as strong. The carrots aren't nearly as hard. Celery is soft, the potato's soft, the beef is tender. I don't know. It's an interesting difference.
The beef wasn't as tender as the first one I had, for some reason. The flavors were better blended, and that's good. And the carrots were softer. I like soft carrots and celery. So, I don't know, they're both good.
Okay, with this one, yes, the carrots were softer. Celery was soft, potatoes are soft. Not as soft as the first one. The beef, for me, had much more of a wine flavor than the first one. That's what I noticed most, which was not necessarily a good thing. And now they are putting their votes down to see which one they like better. They've had the moderator and he is tallying up the votes. Let's see what he says. Who is the winner in this epic showdown? In a close vote, the Mealthy takes it 2-1. And it's the Mealthy Multipot racking up another win against the Crockpot, this time with his dish of beef stew. Join us next time as we pit 2 more kitchen guys against each other with a dish of our choosing. This is Chef Barry, signing off.